Hello again, everyone, and pardon for last week, but a little under the weather, but we're feeling better. We're back at it today. I'm Gary Gotzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of a week. Let's see, this is going to be 7. So we're almost done of Season 1 of 2022 of the Stock Carnaval Do Brasil, coming to you from Watkins Glen. Joining me in the booth for expert analysis all season long is my teammate in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series, is Antonio Estrada. Antonio, we're just going to talk about it in the pre-race show as my voice starts to give out already. These cars and this track seems to be a pretty decent pairing.
Hey, Gary. Yeah, good night, everyone. Yeah, Watkins Glen, and especially the Cup layout, I think it's going to be a great combination. I was driving around here a couple of hours ago, and the car drives very, very similarly to what you would expect from a NASCAR stock car. The braking markers are very similar, and the power application is, again, it's going to be an issue. as we've seen all year. Whenever you start going into the throttle, you need to be very mindful of the amount of pressure you're adding on the pedal to avoid spinning out. But overall, a very fast track with some very, very fast corners, and I think we're going to see a lot of action, especially because it's a shorter layout, so they're not going to be able to get that strung out. And I think we're in for a great race tonight.
We have about 5 minutes left in qualifying. Remember, qualifying is 10 minutes or 10 laps, whatever you do first. And about 5 minutes and 10 seconds. And soon to be, we will not quite crown him yet, but we think mathematically this is, if he does well tonight, this will be where he will clinch the championship, is Fernando Rago. He is currently on the provisional pole at a 113.472, followed by newcomer Joseph Lester, who is just 2/10 behind. So we got some new guys in the race, 14-car field. Pretty decent showing here, despite the championship kind of being decided at least for the top spot.
Yeah, currently Rago holds a 45-point lead over second place Rafael Oliveira, and there are 56 points up for grabs per weekend. So, well, not per weekend, per week. So if he does particularly well today and he has more than 56 points difference, then we'll have a champion crowned today. However, the second and third spot, basically the entire top 5 of the championship, is up for grabs. I mean, they are very, very close together. Not sure if we have the graphic, but
it is up.
Rafael Oliveira. Oh, there we go. So Rafael Oliveira has 197, and then just behind him, Olivier Vignon. We were talking about him in Phoenix, that he might be able to take P2. He wasn't able to do it, but he's been very, very close to Oliveira. It's going to be a dogfight until the end. And then we have JJ Wang also very, very close, and Chris Hill, who is also joining us tonight. He might be able to take back that P2 spot that he held for a while. And we'll see how it goes. We do have a couple of newcomers. We see Austin Story on the 23. They're P6 right now. And Javier Sanz, who we saw join us in Sandown last week, currently P5. Then we have also Timothy Watson and Joseph Lester. Those guys are brand new to the series. So that's going to be interesting to see some new faces and how they don't care about the championship. They only want to win. So that's also going to be something very, very interesting for guys like Oliveira and Luzon and Vignon and JJ Wang and Chris Hill. So, yeah, lots of different storylines to follow tonight.
Yeah, for some of these guys, it'll be nice, despite a short season, only 8 rounds, to close out a season towards the end, because this is the penultimate event. I know everyone likes to use that word, penultimate, but the penultimate event before we're heading back to the bookend event is Interlagos. But before we head back to that, even though that we're at the penultimate event, the season's not that far before it's done. Some of these guys would like to, get a win under their belt.
Yeah, I'm sure. If I were joining tonight, again, I don't care at all about the championship. I only want to win, and I have 2 chances to do it. first in the feature race, first in the heat race, and then in the feature one. So I'm just gonna go elbows out, and especially because these cars can take a beating.
They can. We have seen that. Yes, we have definitely seen that for sure.
And you know, this track being so fast, it's momentum based. So if you take a corner a little, you know, if you do a corner wrong, then you're gonna get freight train. You don't want to do that. So and you don't want to brake for the guy in front of you necessarily. So you know, these guys, these cars have bumpers. They're probably not gonna be afraid to use them. I think we'll see some sparks at some point.
Well, currently about 1:20 left. There is our provisional pole sitter for Gundorago with a 1:13.472. Joseph Lester's gotten it closer. He's got it into the same bracket, but 0.015 difference there. Christopher Hill just jumped to P3 with a 1:13.585. So again, into the 1:13 bracket. JJ Wang is currently provisionally P4 with about 50 seconds left. So again, once again, the format is after our 10-minute qualifying or 10-lap qualifying run, you have a 30-minute heat race, and then we will have a kind of a brief warm-up in between, allowing things to reset, and then there will be a 60-lap or 30-minute feature race. So the heat race, only one. 30 laps or 15 minutes, whatever comes first. The top 8 there are inverted for the feature. The feature is 60 laps or 30 minutes, whatever comes first. 30% fuel cap, no tire limits, but they will not be changing tires. They will only be stopping for fuel.
Yeah, definitely. And they're using a different setup. They changed some couple of things here and there. I was trying it out. It felt much more stable on throttle application. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see these drivers go at it, Watkins Glen. So as the session ends, and Rago is going to get 2 additional points for that pole position, very important in his championship his championship quest, and getting closer and closer by the minute. I think we also have Sebastian Maceira there, but he's carrying over an EOL penalty from the previous round in Phoenix. So let's go through the field. Let's see. Facundo Rago is on the pole, followed by newcomer Joseph Lester, P2. Then we have in row 2, Christopher Hill and JJ Wang. Row 3 has Austin Story and Timothy Watson, both newcomers. Then we have Javier Sanz and Rafael Oliveira, Glenn Luzon and Olivier Vignon. A little lower for one of our championship contenders, at least for P2. Then we have James Watson and Dan Miglin, followed by Matt Johnston and Sebastian Maceira, who's going to be a lot of fun to see him coming from the back.
Full pace lap here at Watkins Glen as we are getting prepared to be let out here by the pace car. Couple more cars to go ahead and grid up, and we shall be on our way. Projected 13 laps for the first heat race,
which will be plenty. I think I did a full stint, and it lasts around 15 laps, 14 to 15 laps. But again, they're going to try different strategies. We're going to see some guys dive into the pits once their pit window opens. Some others are going to try and stretch it out as much as they can. But yeah, I mean, tires do get really heated up here, especially if you take a corner wrong. So, I mean, you're not going to change tires. That's not going to happen. But it's going to be interesting to see them managing tires and making sure that they are able to get there at the end and not have to be fighting understeer or oversteer throughout the course of a run.
This, of course, is the newly scanned version of Watkins Glen that we are using tonight. Beautifully done. .
Yeah, it's a bummer that we cannot race on the old one, though. I mean, at least give us the option. But they took it away. They took it away. This is beautiful, of course, but dang it.
Well, they left the old version of Atlanta for everyone to use. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's if it's there, we might as well just keep it. But you're right. But here we go. We are going through the carousel at the end of the backstretch after the bus stop chicane. This is normally where, as you see the road off to the left there, that will take you to the boot section that you typically see IndyCar and sports cars run. This is a stretch that brings you back up to the main stretch here at Watkins Glen International. Very fast portion of the racetrack. Actually, there's not very many slow portions of this racetrack. About turning into turn one, it's about as slow as you're going to get.
Yeah, and it's going to upset the car a lot on braking because it's downhill. I was trying it out different ways, different entries, different lines, and there are a lot of them that are going to get you to lock up and, spin out. So, yeah, turn one is probably going to be the most difficult for them, but turn 6 there that we just went by is also going to be interesting as we're getting ready to go green.
Here we go, and we are green, and Untitled taking the field down to turn 1. About 3 wide in the back there, 2 wide side by side going into 1 between Joseph Lester and Untitled. Lester falls in behind Rago, and we are underway.
Beyond making it 3 wide there next to Oliveira behind Glenn Luzon, fighting hard for a P10. Looks like they're going to be going side by side, entering the bus stop between Bignon and Macera. Macera backs out a little bit. Very smart move, especially because on cold tires, the car is not going to be as precise as it typically would once you get some heat on them. So, yeah, lap 1, making moves, you for sure can go and do it, but it's going to be tough to maintain control of the car.
Ample runoff space here now with this new version. A lot of places that there was kitty litter is gone.
Yeah, the only downside for it, especially in turn 1, is if you do go wide, you're going to get a slowdown penalty. So while you can go a little wide, if you go a lot super wide, you're going to have to give up a lot of space. And we see it's Chris Hill going by Joseph Lester there in the S's.
On the outside there, nice move. And all these cars popping those curbs, using every inch of the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like both Joseph Lester and Austin Story, they're teammates, Money House Racing, and they did come to play. I mean, they're currently P3 and P5, as we see Lester trying to move there on Chris Hill. It's not going to work.
I think that was a little bit of netcode there. I don't think there was actual contact.
That's a bummer.
Maybe we can go back and take a look at that here momentarily here. Let's go back in the Wayback Machine here and check it out. And maybe we'll get a better shot here of... let's try it from the Race First 1 airship.
Looks like it was a little bit of an optimistic move. As Macera is off also.
Oh, yeah, there was contact there. There was contact. I thought there was a lot of room, but he just kind of missed the apex, unfortunately, and drove into the side. Looks like Hill was able to recover mostly.
Yeah, Hill's still in P5. Joseph Lester all the way down to P13, and Macera just spun out on his own entering turn one. It's a little bit about what we were talking about a couple of minutes ago, that whenever you go into turn one, if you go into a little bit of a weird angle, the car will try to oversteer on its own, and you're going to spin out. So that seems to be what happened to Massera, who was already mounting a charge after starting from the back. He was up to P9, but now he's back to P14, and he'll have to fight again.
Back up front is Rago. JJ Wang is now up to the second spot. Austin Story P3. Tim Watson up to P4, the newcomer. We'll show him real quick.
Yeah, and JJ just did the fastest lap of the race so far. He did a 1:13.2, blazing fast lap compared to Rago's 1:13.7. He's coming.
Oh, Olivier Saints on the backstretch going into the bus stop chicane, cutting across the row. Everybody misses him, but some people had to take more evasive action than others. But it looks like he went to brake and his car got loose.
Yeah, it looks like he hit Timothy Watson there on braking, entering the bus stop, and then everyone did a great job scrambling around him to avoid hitting him. Awesome driving by everyone.
Saint, sorry if I said his first name wrong, but a good control by everybody on that one. And you're right, though. Sometimes bringing these cars under braking, the car will want to do its own thing.
Yeah, it gets a mind of its own. As I'm seeing now, Austin Story, he's now hounding JJ Wang there for P2, entering the S's.
JJ Wang's on, push the pass.
And they're both very, very close to Rago. JJ is going to try and make a move there, entering the bus stop.
He's going to go right on by.
Now he needs to be mindful of his braking markers.
Yes.
Beautiful job there.
Good job. And you could tell he was on push to pass. There is a little light on the passenger side that is over the number there. You see the 00, the red light there. If it's green, they're on their push to pass. And a little bit different use of push to pass than we're used to here when we watch IndyCar. Go ahead and explain the push to pass one more time.
Yep, sure. So the push to pass operates in a very interesting way, a very strategic manner. Whenever you press the button, it's gonna take 5 seconds for it to engage, and then it's gonna be on for 21 seconds. It doesn't matter if you lift off the throttle, it doesn't matter anything. You're gonna have it engaged for 21 seconds, and then once it disengages, it's off for 85 seconds. You cannot use it until those 85 seconds go by, and you only have six deploys of that push to pass, so you got to be very careful and very strategic in when you're going to be using it, especially because you can use it both for offense and defense. And I'm still keeping my eye on this battle for the lead. Rago is not giving up.
No story. We're going to reset our overlay here real quick. The side ticker was not coming up. We'll fix that. There we go. Trying to keep an idea of the closest battle on the racetrack, although really the closest battle on the racetrack, other than that little incident in turn 5, I think, is right now it's with these leaders up front, so that's kind of why we can be keeping it here. Oh, something happened to... What happened to JJ?
Something happened to JJ. I'm not sure. Maybe he had some sort of issue with his equipment.
Well, let's take a look. Let's
because
go back
he didn't go wide. He didn't miss anything, and he's back underway.
Yeah, let's go ahead and ride along with JJ on that one and find out what happened.
That was weird. And while we were watching that, Story, newcomer, just made a move on Rago. He's currently leading the race.
Yeah, he just kind of pulls it off into that overrun area and kind of stops.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Resets.
Something must have happened.
It must have been some sort of equipment failure. But Austin Story now is your leader.
Yeah, maybe the monitor or something. I've had that happen in the Indy 500, actually, the iRacing Indy 500. My monitors all went black for some reason while I was leading, of course.
Of course.
Villon is up to P4 now, so again, that battle for P2 in the championship is really heating up. He went by Timothy Watson, and Rafael Oliveira is just there trying to make a move on him now. Is he gonna send it entering the bus stop?
6 laps to go in this heat race.
He's got the help of the draft. He's thinking better of it. Oliveira is getting a great run. Ooh,
into the back of Watson.
Into the back of the 7 there.
But he allows Watson to recover. But here comes the other Watson, James Watson. He's going to capitalize on that and pick up 1 position, maybe 2.
Yeah, and also JJ is coming back with a vengeance there. Yeah, not sure what happened, but now JJ has both of the Watsons there in front of him. He's maybe gonna try and make a move there.
I think Oliveira just kind of got into the gas a little bit sooner than Tim Watson did, and kind of gave him a little bit of a nudge, allowed him very nice of him to allow him to recover and everything.
Yeah, the thing about that carousel is you can take it in a couple of different ways. You can go a little wider and make it a double apex, or you can just stay close to the apron and do it in third. Yeah, they probably just have different ways of approaching that corner, and it resulted in that accident as JJ just went by James Watson, and now it's trying to make a move on Timothy Watson there in the same exact location as we saw Rafael Oliveira and him have a little bit of an issue. He's going to get a very good run off of the carousel entering turn 6. He's taking a look in the inside. I'm not sure if he's going to send it. He's not that close. Maybe he's going to wait until turn 7. Or to set it up for the front stretch entering turn 1. He's got a good run this time around, but not close enough. Coming through the S's now.
Good battle here.
He was very smart to get off the throttle there a little bit to set himself up for a better line there. To not crowd himself.
Oliveira, a little bit of a love tap to James Watson there.
Yeah, these 4 guys very, very close together.
You can definitely see him sliding through that carousel portion.
Yeah, and it's kind of something that you want to do. You want the car to slide a little bit, to have a little bit of a slip angle on the tires, because that maximizes the speed that you're going to be able to keep on corner exit and the momentum that you need to build. But you don't want to overdo it, because then the tires are shot. And JJ now got a really good run, but it's still not trying to make a move. He actually lifted off the throttle there. Not sure he felt that it wasn't the right time to do it.
Of course, if they decide to stay put where they are, Oliveira starts on the front row for the feature race because they invert the top 8.
Right. Yeah, that's something we talk about a lot during these races, as JJ now seems to be taking a look at the
JJ is on push to pass, so is Watson. Watson, way off.
Oof.
I think he managed to catch it before hitting any.
And the other Watson.
Oh, yes, the other Watson. We didn't see what happened to him, but he is partially. He's in a really dangerous spot there, but he's getting it out. Not sure what happened. Let's take a look and see what happened here.
He got a little squirrely exiting the bus stop there. I think JJ was being very patient with him, maybe expecting a mistake, which ended up happening.
Yeah, it looks like he might have caught a little bit of the grass. Yeah, right there on the inside. Back end comes around, and JJ very patiently. Oh, Oliveira almost carries right up into Oliveira. Oliveira manages to avoid it. And JJ Wang moves now back up into the top 5. Let's go check on our leaders right now. Austin Story just leading, and Facundo Rago just keeping him right in front. 2 laps to go here for this heat race. Christopher Hill all by himself in P3s. He recovered from that incident there in turn 5, excuse me. I said it was turn 6, excuse me. Said it was turn 5 earlier. Vignon is all by himself at P4. So he will pretty much start in that position if everything remains unchanged for the feature race.
Yeah, and this race flew by. We're already like 8 seconds to go. I'm not sure if this is the last lap or if we're going to get another one right
Showing
here.
White flag, and Christopher Hill is coming in.
Yeah, white flag, and there's Rago making a move for the lead. And he makes it stick.
I wonder why Christopher Hill is coming in.
I'm not sure, but we're still going. Also, JJ and Oliveira and Luzon, they're in the pits. They're all in the pits.
Can they not make it the last lap? To go, did everyone need a splash?
I guess they ran out of fuel, probably.
Wow, and that's really going to change some things.
Wow. Okay.
Austin Story out of fuel.
Yeah. That's exactly it. So yeah, 12 laps. Let's see if Vignon was able to save enough.
Vignon is.
I can hear him just coasting and on the clutch. Rago very smart. He was able to, use somebody else leading to get the draft and not
Rago
burn as much fuel.
And
Rago is the winner. Vignon is out of fuel, I think.
And Vignon is out of fuel, and he is going to be lucky to make it to the start-finish line at this point.
Macera is going to come through, and starting from the back, he's going to not P2. Chris Hill, P3. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
No, I did not see that coming either. You gotta wonder though. Halfway through this race, though, it might have been better just to go ahead if they knew what the calculations were, to go ahead and if they knew they were going to make it, or wasn't as skilled as Rago on the throttle was, and for that matter, Macera much the same way. Maybe just jump in at some point and get a splash and continue on. And I mean, Christopher Hill, even though he pitted coming to take the white flag, he finishes third.
Finishes third. Wow. Yeah, I mean, what I saw during my stay in this, it was around 12, 13 laps what I did, but I also wasn't, or 13, 14 laps, but I also wasn't using the push-to-pass at all, and I'm not as fast as these guys, so that taking all of that into account, that makes sense that they ran out of fuel in lap 12. But, wow. So Rago is the winner again.
And let's take a look at the heat race classification here. Rago, Macera, Hill, your top 3 for the first heat race. Lester, Watson, Luzon, then Tim Watson and Rafael Oliveira. That is your top 8. They will invert. Austin Story, Oliver Vignon, JJ Wang, and Matt Johnson, Daniel Miglin, and Javier Saints will be the remainder of the top 14, and they will re-grid where they finished.
Right, and that also explains why I was looking at the push to pass situation, and Rao hadn't used his at all. So now that explains it much better. He knew it was going to happen. And you got a feel for Austin's story. I didn't know if it was going to be the last lap or not. But yeah, it turns out that we had to do another one, and he ends up, what was it, P9. And also, the other winner here is Rafael Oliveira, who, is going to start from the pole this time around, ends up P8, which doesn't sound like a lot, but he's fighting both Olivier Vignon and JJ Wang for P2 in the championship, and those two guys ended up P11 and P12.
That is track position right there.
And track position, so a couple of extra points in track position. And also Chris Hill, he's not that far away from P2 in the championship. So very, very smart move for those guys that went to the pits and to get that splash and make it to the end. I was not expecting that at all. Wow.
Well, we got Facundo Rago in the waiting room. We'll bring him into the broadcast booth. And Tony, you could go ahead and kick him off with the question. When did he know it was going to be a fuel race? Hey, Facundo, we got you in the booth here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Facundo, congratulations again. Did you know that it was going to come to a fuel saving race, or how did you manage to pull that one off?
Yeah, we found out like half the race with Seb. So yeah, we're like fighting for the lead, and Seb told me, "Hey, you have to save fuel," and I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him, to be honest. But he did great, and yeah, I started saving fuel. I knew the guys weren't, so yeah, I had that chance to get the lead at the last lap again.
Well, a masterful move there from Seba then, because you guys ended up 1-2 for ART here in the heat race. How about the tire degradation? Do you feel any of that?
A bit. To be honest, I was more focused on the fuel, but yeah, it's a lot of heat on the track. So yeah, of course, the left tires are like suffering a lot. But I think it's gonna be an interesting race now with a 30-minute race. Let's see what the tires can do, and but yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I imagine that if you go all out, you would need to pit twice, so you're gonna have to save a little fuel at some point during the feature race as well, right?
Yeah, gonna save a bit of fuel, I guess.
All right, well, that's gonna be very interesting to see when you guys start using the push to pass and when you guys start going all out. Congratulations again, Facundo. You're very, very close to locking up that championship. I think if you get around a podium, it should do it today. So what are your thoughts on that? What's the plan?
Yeah, well, I want to secure it right now, but I'm thinking I depend on the Oliveira and Vignon results. So yeah, I'm waiting for it. Waiting for that. No, I'm not in a hurry.
All right, fantastic. Anyone you want to give a shout out to? Si quieres en español, como es costumbre.
Dale. Sí, bueno, para los chicos ATR también, que también, bueno, la mayoría están en el campeonato de TCR luchando ahí, así que después vamos a charlar cuando terminen nuestras carreras. Así que a los chicos de ATR y a Seba le debo una grande a Seba ahora. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. So
who knew that a feature race
is the mastermind behind it?
Right. Who knew that the heat race was going to be strategy filled?
Yeah, I don't think anyone foresaw that happening. But yeah, awesome call. That's probably the championship call. I mean, he was gonna get it anyway, I think, but an earlier championship call. Yeah, that's great. Great teamwork there.
Well, while we're in this little bit of a We're going to get gritting up here just momentarily. This was a small warm-up period, optional warm-up period. Nobody had to use it if they didn't want to. Many drivers probably went to go get a cool drink, maybe to go use the facilities, but they are getting back in their cars now and gritting up for this. But as you can hear, my voice has been rough, and the last week has been rough. But the best medicine you could absolutely do for me at home is please give this broadcast a thumbs up. Just like that. That would be mean a lot to us. It would mean even more if you would go and subscribe and click the bell for notifications to learn more about other iRacing broadcasts here on Race First. Next week is Championship Week on Race First. We will have Championship Monday for the Indy Fix Series. Then we will have Championship Wednesday, and for the Revolution Indy League's Schaefer IndyCar Series. That will be Wednesday, and then next Thursday will be Championship Thursday here for Stock Carnaval Do Brasil, where we go to Interlagos to formally crown a champion. Mathematically, we might have a champion after today's race, but we will formally crown that champion next Thursday on Championship Thursday. So make sure to click the bell for weekly reminders and get more updates on Race First iRacing broadcasts. Really would appreciate that. As you can hear, the voice is struggling, and the best medicine you can give me is to do one of those things, and I really would appreciate it. So we are underway here for our feature race, and Mr. Estrada, what is the starting lineup?
Sure, yeah, we're starting on the pole. It's going to be Timothy Watson, newcomer, next to James Watson there on row 1. Then we have Rafael Oliveira and Chris Hill on row 2, Glenn Luzon and Joseph Lester row 3, Facundo Rago and Olivier Vignon row 4. Actually, Facundo Rago and Sebastián Macera row 4. Then we have Austin Story and Olivier Vignon row 5. JJ Wong and Matt Johnston in row 6. Dan Miglin and Javier Sanz in row 7. Yeah, that's it's gonna be interesting how these guys manage the field, because now we know that it cannot go an entire stint.
So that was 12 laps. And we will see momentarily what the lap projection is going to be. And you would think at double the distance that it will be 24 laps, and that each stint will be a lap short. So they're going to somehow have to either pit a little bit earlier than they want to, or they're going to have to conserve, somehow make 2 laps or a lap and a half or so of fuel.
Right. Yeah, and they went by the start-finish line with like 5 seconds to spare for it to start. So if the story would be, you know, if he had known that that's what's going to happen.
True.
If you lay back a little bit for the last couple of laps, then you're going to have the checker come. So I think we're going to see something like that at some point. But now definitely everyone knows that we cannot make it through an entire stint. So a lot of additional strategy to think on top of everyone else, of everything else that we've been doing tonight.
You can make time your enemy or your friend if that's the case. And time was against everybody in that first race except for your winners. We're lined up 7th and 8th at the moment right now, getting ready to start this. And pace car
we're
is
going to
off.
see how they carve through the field.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun to watch these ART teammates go through it as we go green. Three wide there for a second. Chris Hill going by Glenn Luzon there for P4, entering the S's, or exiting the S's actually, coming to the backstretch. And looks like Austin Story there in the 23 thought about sending the 3 wide in the bus stop, but thought better of it and backed out.
No, don't want to do that. There's Vignon stuck in traffic back in the rear there.
Yeah, a lot of our faster guys are stuck in the back of the pack. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch them go by, especially because the time difference is not that big between the top runners and the current guys we have at the front due to the invert. So track position is very, very important, and people are going to have to be very patient.
Projecting 24 laps to be the time here.
Yeah, and last time by, or in the heat race, it was projected for 12, but we ended up doing 13, so that's what threw it off.
Yeah, that's what, when the pace picked up, the tanks get lighter, the times get faster.
He saved it. Yeah, Chris Hill was going side by side.
They are bidding up. They are bidding up Austin Story, and Impact. This is going to be Impact the championship. Olivier Vignon, he is smoking. He is not going to get that car back to the pits. We'll see. He'll need to nurse that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the replay. Looks like a little bit of a chain reaction from that incident that I saw with Chris Hill. Looks like Sebastian Macera tried to take some evasive action, and he ended up spinning on his own a little bit due to having to brake. And then Austin Story hit with nowhere to go, and then Olivier Vignon nowhere to go, and everyone just starts piling up. That's tough.
And we will see Vignon make his way around. Car is smoking. Normally it's a sign the engine's about ready to go ahead and grenade. Let's see if he makes that turn on the pit road here and get to his stall in time for not for a tow to happen. This is impacting the championship.
All of that happened. Sorry to cut you off. While all of that happened, we have Facundo Rago up to P3 already.
we will cut the cameras there as soon as the Frenchman reaches his pit stall. There he goes. And the car grenades just as soon as he gets it there. And I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. That might be DNF.
Man,
and Austin Story has just joined him.
Yeah, Austin Story had a lot of damage as well. I thought that these cars have a faster pair, but
maybe not for the feature. I don't know. I thought they did too, but now we're down to 11 cars remaining, all pretty tightly packed together.
Yeah, I think Sands didn't take the green here, and then we have Story and Vignon out. So yeah, tough break for those guys. Rago going, actually Lester going for the lead, entering the bus stop. He makes it work there on Rafael Oliveira and Facundo Falls.
He got a little squirrely there midway through. Someone had to shoot the bus stop. That might have been. That was Dan Miglin, I believe.
JJ Wang was forced a little wide there, but he's coming. Up 6 positions from the start. Both Rago and JJ up 6, and Dan Miglin up 5.
And this battle from P3 on back. I mean, it's pretty much the rest of the field that's remaining.
Everyone bunched up there. Watson tries to make a move on Oliveira, doesn't work. Now Dan Miglin has a great run on Glenn Luzon, and they go side by side through the S's.
Watch those cars all slide through the bus stop chicane, or they call the inner loop. Anything you want to call it here, the inner loop, bus stop chicane, whatever.
Rago now hounding Joseph Lester there for the lead, entering turn 6. making all sorts of moves, trying to make him change his line. And I can hear that he's saving a little fuel, so I'm not sure that he wants that lead right now. Although he's going for it. Raul and Lester now side by side there in the S's.
Riding
and
on
that's
board
also
with...
bringing Oliveira back to the battle.
Yep, and we're riding on board with Joseph Lester as they are going down what they call the backstretch here. Getting into the braking zone for the chicane. Watch how fast they take this. Hit those bumps. You can hear the cars on the edge of adhesion the entire time through there. Now into the carousel. Road to the left here that you see go on straight. That is to the boot. Road to the left there is where the boot rejoins the main circuit. Very fast left-hander here, ample runoff area. Very fast right-hander here coming back onto the main straight.
And the fun part about Watkins Glen is you can toss the car around and
Yeah.
it will work.
Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of everybody doing that.
And I was looking at Raul, and he doesn't seem to be, again, he seems to be very happy riding there in second, because that way he's burning less fuel than everyone else. I was listening to his throttle. He is lifting a little bit before getting to the braking zones, although he's, again, making me look bad as he's trying to go for the lead, entering the bus stop.
Oh yeah, we just popped on board with him, and you could definitely hear that he is clutching early.
Yeah, and that's as we saw, it's gonna give you at least an additional lap of fuel. So I'm not sure. I think everyone is playing very nice right now. Probably waiting until they get to that first pit stop, and perhaps they were all hoping to do it in lap 12 or 13 to be able to make it to the end.
That's an interesting something maybe for if there is a next season. Then Macero's actually in the pits, so that's the teammate to Rago. He had some issues earlier in that incident that we saw in the S's. He might be done. So I think we have 10 cars running, but all 10 cars are running right together right now. Yeah,
he had a lot of damage as well from that snafu exiting the S's, and yeah. Looks like it was too much for that car, so he's out. But yeah, if there is a second season and Macero runs the full season, well, then it's gonna be very interesting to see the battle up front.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to adjust the rules a little bit and the fuel supply. Maybe right now fuel supply is at 30%. Maybe do something like 28% or something like that, where on some of these heat races you actually got to take fuel into consideration instead of if you think of heat racing in the American sprint car aspect, where it's just like put your foot down, turn left, and try to pass as many people as possible. Not much strategy in that, just race hard, right? But maybe put a little bit more strategy into a heat race would make things a little bit more interesting in terms of how a driver can approach a heat race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that adds an entirely new dimension to the heat race, because it's not only about going fast as you can and turning some banger of laps. It's about taking care of your equipment, taking care of the fuel that you have, and making sure that you are able to make it to the end. I think that would be an amazing rule to have 25% of fuel even. Well, maybe that's pushing it. Looks like Dan Miglin just went by Timothy Watson there for P5, but everyone's still very close together.
Lucas Sigmund in chat is calling Sebastian Toto Wolff for the call to save fuel.
It sure was.
Now we've been car big
Dan
wreck. Who's
Miglin?
that? That is
Yeah, Dan Miglin.
Miglin getting loose, and that's day done with the way that you impact the engine. He just kind of comes around. We'll do the blimp view here from Race First One airship. Kind of comes, hits the power, and back on around and noses it right in really hard, and that is day done because engine is done.
Yeah. Also, not sure what happened to Glenn Luzon.
Yeah.
I don't see him in the session. Well, I don't see him in my overlay, so.
Yeah, I see him as grayed out. So unfortunately, he is out now. We got now 8 cars remaining.
Man, it's been a lot of attrition. We didn't expect that to happen.
No, and it's very much been impacting the points so far with Olivier Vignon out. He would have been in a running for P2 in the championship.
Yeah, and I mean, he still is, but it's going to be tough at order to do at Interlagos. As I see Christopher Hill just went by Timothy Watson there for P5.
Yeah, we got that there.
Chris Hill also moving up, and remember, Chris Hill is 4th in the championship standings, actually 5th. So he's also in the fray for that fight. It's a little bit of an outside shot, but the numbers still add up, and he might be able to get it.
So
Everyone's being very careful.
Facundo Rago. Sorry, we had Facundo Rago in chat the other night for I believe it was the RIL race that we had in at Chicagoland, I believe it was, and he was in chat talking it up, and I'm like, come on, man, we got to get you in a new IndyCar and get you on one of these ovals. And he's like, no. He sounded like totally Daniel Ricciardo. I was like, no, I'm not doing oval. Forget it. But I'm telling you, if he gets onto an oval like a Chicagoland and an IndyCar, he'll probably be hooked at that point. But we're still trying to get Facundo Rago into an IndyCar and get him on one of these IndyCar broadcasts here on Race First. I suspect he'll do well.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's somebody that with such a good racecraft as Facundo has. I think he's gonna be, right at home in the IndyCars, and especially, I mean, in ovals it's an entirely different beast. But we can get him on, a road course first. JJ has really closed in.
Yeah,
to
he
the
has
2 leaders here,
and no one is hardly used push to pass for this race.
Oh yeah, that was what I was about to say. It's only been one from the leader. Oh, Rago! Well, there we go. We jinxed him. I was just talking about his racecraft and whatnot. He just dropped a wheel, and
there might have been a little contact right before. If I can get it to go forward here.
I don't see any contact, but maybe Joseph Lester crowded him a little bit.
Yeah, I think Joseph was trying to come over a little bit, try to take a little opportunity, and I'm not going to say contact, but I did impact the way that he took his entrance into that corner, and then trying to straighten it out, and it just didn't want to straighten out for him, and he finds that that Armco twice. But well, I mean, at this point, it just really needs to finish.
Yeah. I mean, he's still gonna have a huge lead in the championship, especially with the amount of attrition that we've seen tonight. So the worst that he can finish, I think, is P8, and I mean, there's still plenty of racing to go. Half the race still to go. So JJ Wang and Chris Hill already went into the pits for their pit stop in lap 12. It should be enough for them to make it to the end.
And those are team cars, so they're probably communicating.
Yeah, but it also depends how much fuel you add to these cars, because like you said, they're starting with 30% fuel. You can add as much as you would like in the pit stop, so they're going to be able to make it to the end, no problem at all. But it also depends on how much fuel they added. And their pit time was 10 seconds for both, so they were probably, well, 10, yeah, 10 and a half.
And we're showing everybody on pit road at the moment. Lester, Oliveira, Watson. Facundo Rago has managed to make up the gap a little bit here because of everyone hitting pit road. So JJ Wang now, he's coming around, and he might pick up the lead.
Yeah, maybe short pitting was a key to this. So Lester is out already.
Wow, and that's really close, though, but he's right ahead of JJ.
Yeah. By just over a second, but JJ is going to be able to close that with all the momentum he has up the hill right now.
So the strategy there, folks, pit early. As soon as the window opens.
Yeah, it sure worked for Chris Hill, who was running P5, and now it's up to P3.
Showing 10 laps to go here in the race, projected 10 laps.
Let's also see when they start using that push to pass, or if they start using that push to pass button.
Matt Johnston, who we haven't really talked about at all race long, and back at P8, he has already used push to pass 4 times. He's on it now, but I don't think he's running for fuel mileage.
And looks like Joseph Lester is on push to pass now.
He is on. There's
trying
that green
to get
light.
Away. Yeah, trying to get away from JJ, but that's also going to help JJ a little bit and give him a little bit of a boost through the draft. Although he does get away and extends the lead from around 6 tenths to around a second and yeah, like 1.1 seconds, 1.2. But now he's vulnerable. He cannot defend if JJ decides to use his.
JJ waiting for that moment. He's got a cooldown period of 85 seconds, which is just about a lap here.
It's an eternity. Yeah. Also a good battle right now between both Watsons and Oliveira there for P4. They went side by side entering the bus stop last time by, and managed to keep it all pointed forwards, and they're very close right now.
Lap times in the 114s.
Yeah, nobody's dropping below that 114 bracket. We saw it in the heat race. They were doing 113s. That meant that they were pushing, and that also helped for everyone getting running that tank dry and running out of fuel. So I guess they're going a little bit more conservative this time around. Although now it's time to go. So we see Oliveira now making a move, or trying to make a move there on James Watson. It's very close right now. Decides to chuck back in line, entering the bus stop. A little wider on the exit, entering the carousel now. But he's going to be able to apply throttle a little earlier than James Watson in front of him. Still a very good points day for Oliveira there.
Currently P6.
And Joe Lester again on the push to pass, trying to build as much of a gap as he can to JJ. And JJ hasn't touched his at all.
Nope. I think JJ, all those guys came in, a lap earlier than the rest?
Yeah, a lap earlier. So maybe they're both Wang and Chris Hill. Maybe they're both saving fuel a little bit. Again, it depends on how much fuel they actually got on that pit stop.
You're seeing last lap times again, still in the 14s for your leaders, 15s for the remainder of the field.
Yeah, because we talked about it. Typically, for a gallon on these cars, it's around a second per gallon on the pit stop. So if they stayed in the pits for around 10 seconds, they have around 10 gallons. And that 30% of the tank is 9 gallons. So they probably went with 10 gallons. They should be able to make it to the end, no problem at all, but still be a little close. So I can see why one would be hesitant to use that push-to-pass button, which uses a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of a downside of pitting early.
They seem to have a pretty good gap for the top three. It's Lester, your leader, by 2.2 over JJ Wang. JJ Wang is racing with his teammate back in P2 and P3 here. Wang has about a 2.4 second lead over Hill. And then they have about a 7.5 second gap back to this battle right here. You see for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And we currently been watching here is James Watson to the low side of Tim Watson. Side by side coming down the stretch, returning us back to the main straight.
Yeah, good defense from Team Watson there.
Yeah, very good defense. It shows that multiple lines can work here, as well as attacking and defending.
Looks like Joe Lester again on push to pass, and he hasn't built that much of a gap. I mean, it was down to 1.5 seconds. It's going up to 1.92 seconds right now, but down to 2 uses of the button, while JJ still has the entirety of them.
That's right, and Hill was on the button at that time as well.
P4, P5, and P6 very close together now.
So Lester cannot use that for another 85 seconds. So he will not be able to use it for the better part of the next entire lap. But back to this battle for 4th.
That worked. James Watson getting it squirrely, but made it work. Exiting turn 7 onto the front stretch.
Yeah, but it's going to cost him some momentum. Yep.
To take a look, to take a peek to the inside of turn 1 and make that move work.
Yeah, Watson goes wide, lets the 2 on by.
And look who's joined the fray.
Facundo Rago.
Rago. He's inevitable.
Thanos?
That's what I was going for, yeah. But, I mean, I remember when we were at Laguna Seca, we were talking about, oh no, he had a really bad race, if everything went wrong, whatever, but he ended up P5. Tonight, he also has an issue early in the feature race. Goes all the way down to P8, I think it was.
Yeah.
But back in the top 5, and now he's getting really close there to Timothy Watson, so he's going to be able to probably make it to the P4. That's championship drive.
Well, speaking of championship drive, I'm going to take a look here at P9, and Olivier Vignon has somehow managed to get repaired and to make up a couple spots on the racetrack. So he is back in the pits. Looks like getting worked on again. But he might have made up as much as he can and decided to retire. But he's worked his way up from last now up to from 13th to 9th. So some critical points earned by the Frenchman.
Interesting. I don't see. Oh, yeah, he's still in the pits. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to go for every point.
Yeah, sure.
You know? And we've seen it throughout this entire season. A lot of the times the drivers are tied in points. It's been funny, but we've seen it time and again that P4 and P5 are tied, and maybe P2 and P3 are tied. So yeah, going for absolutely every single point that you can is going to make the difference in in the season points championship.
4 to go here at the Glen. Lester, Wang, and Hill going into 1.
Yeah, and going back to that battle, JJ Wang just used his first one finally, as Joseph Lester is on the last one that he has, and JJ was able to close that gap. It's now 2 tenths only, and I don't think he's gonna be able to have a run here entering the bus stop, but he's very close now, and well, he's at least showing the car.
Thinking about it, yeah.
JJ is up 9 spots from his starting position, and he's really close to Joe Lester there.
Oh, back to this battle for 4th. James Watson, Oliveira, and Facundo Rago. They're all fighting it out going into the bus stop, but James Watson has recovered, worked his way back up to 4th. These cars seem to be pretty forgiving. If you get off, and then all you really need is another lap or so of just hitting your marks, and you're right back up with the guys that you were just racing with.
Yeah, that's one of the good parts of all those runoffs that Watkins Glen has, and yeah, you're able to just make it back. JJ is trying to make a move for the lead. And
here we go back. Yep, getting into the S's here. This time, Christopher Hill on push to pass. That green light on his dash there.
Oh, and yeah.
I think he was maybe a little bit of arrow push. He hit the wall, but he is still going.
Yeah, as we said, these cars can take a beating. But yeah, a little too, it gives you so much power. It changes it entirely. The S's, while I was driving around, and once you use that push to pass button, the line has to be perfect. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the wall like Chris Hill did. But happy to see that. Really no damage, and he's still there, just half a second behind JJ for P2.
Let's take a look at that battle for 4th, still developing. Watson, Rago have kind of broken away. That's James Watson. And Facundo Rago is working his way, trying to get back up to 4th now.
Yeah, and I think we've entered the last lap this time around.
Still showing 2 to go with timing and scoring, but we will see when Rago getting the position on Watson going, and we got a white flag showing. So we're going to go by the white flag showing. This is the last lap. Rago gets the position over James Watson for P4. That's going to be very valuable.
JJ going for it, entering the bus stop. Yeah, the bus stop.
Oh, and Lester just blows it.
And he's going to be able to make it. Well, let's see if what Lester does now.
And
JJ was very, very patient there the entire race.
Do we see a little use of the chrome horn? We shall see. In the inside, Lester not going to be there. And we have a pending feature win for JJ Wang, who's going to be very happy. Christopher Hill going sideways off the corner. Get it straight, get it straight, get it straight.
He has a lot of time.
Well, we got a battle between Facundo Rago and here's Rago and Watson. And Hill gets 3rd for Rago 4th. James Watson 5th, Tim Watson 6th, Oliveira 7th. Great. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good heat race there.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, JJ went 10 spots. He got 10 spots in that race. On to win. All right, so let me get a good look at the results. So, winner of the feature race at Watkins Glen is JJ Wang, followed by newcomer Joseph Lester, P2. Then we have Chris Hill, P3, rounding out the podium. Then we have Facundo Rago with his recovery, as usual, like we said, inevitable, P4. Then we have James Watson, and in P5, Timothy Watson, P6, Rafael Oliveira, P7, Matt Johnson, P8, Glenn Luzon, P9, Dan Miglin, P10, Sebastián Macera, P11, Austin Story, P12, Olivier Vignon, P13, and Javier Sanz, P14, although I think he didn't take the green. Also, this combination of results, I need to make the quick math, but 99% sure that actually gives Facundo Rago the championship. So congratulations to him. He's he's been inevitable. Thanos.
Here we go.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
And we got a couple guys already in the interview room. Got the podium of Wang, Lester, and Hill. And we'll be bringing folks in here momentarily. All right, do we have everyone? I guess Hill's not going to show up, so we will go ahead and bring in Joseph Lester first for finishing second. And there goes. Again, please like, subscribe, notify, hit the bell for notifications. Really would appreciate that. And let's bring on Joseph Lester. Hey, Joseph, you're in the booth with Antonio and Gary.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing? Look, I'll go ahead and let my voice is struggling. I'll go ahead and let Antonio run the interview here. But congratulations on the podium finish here, and Antonio, it's all yours.
Yep, thanks. Joseph, congratulations on the podium. Welcome to the Stock Carnival Do Brasil series. How was it out there?
It was good. Actually, tonight was my first time in this car ever. So.
Oh wow.
It was definitely fun. And if I hadn't messed up that bus stop on the final lap, I think I could have got him.
Yeah, it seemed like very, very close racing between both JJ and yourself. And we saw that you were using that push-to-pass to try and build as much of a gap as you could. What was the strategy behind that?
I don't really know. I was just trying to keep all my push-to-passes for the end. And, I think I had a little bit of damage from all the curbs I hopped, and just wasn't meant to be.
Gotcha. So if this is your first time driving this car, what did you think about it? How about throttle application and how loose it is at sometimes, tire management? What are your takeaways from this car?
Well, it's definitely fun. It's good that I had experience last week in the NASCAR Cup cars. That's what I'm normally doing. Here at Watkins Glen, they feel kind of the same, just a little less horsepower, and you can hold it full throttle to a couple places you can't in the Cup cars.
Right. Yeah, we were seeing some similarities with the Cup cars. So, well, that's great. Great debut for yourself, P2. Do you want to give a shout out to anyone you like?
Team Watson Racing, Austin Story, he got wrecked out early. He was probably faster than anybody out there, and my family. That's about it.
All right. Well, congratulations again, and hope to see you next week at Interlagos.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All righty. Well, have a good one.
Let's bring down JJ. Hey, JJ, I'm sure very happy JJ Wang in the booth here with Antonio and Gary. Antonio, it's all yours.
JJ, congratulations on that win. That was a masterful move there entering the bus stop. What were your thoughts during the race? Because we saw that you were keeping those push-to-pass until the very end. So what was the strategy there?
Yeah, we got caught off guard by the amount of fuel this car takes at this track. Normally 30%, the time evens out perfectly, but just a little bit too short at a track like this. So yeah, it was just about fuel saving, making sure my tires were underneath me, and just pushing as hard as I can without using too much fuel. I normally have a pretty lead foot, so James was actually James was coaching me how to do it the whole time. So I got to give hats off to James for doing that, and Chris as well. He was coaching me as well. So
on the job training.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hopefully I can carry some of that to the Indy cars. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun catching him. I wasn't sure how much I had compared to him, but was happy to just scratch at him at the end.
Yeah, well, you made up 10 spots during the race, so congratulations on that. And as for running out of fuel on the heat race, we were just talking about it. We thought it was a lot of it threw another wrench in the strategy. Maybe we can see that coming back for next season. Maybe instead of 30% fuel, maybe 25, to try and switch things up a little bit there.
Yeah, I think that's it turned out to be a mistake, but actually it turned out to be really fun, and like you said, another wrench where it's just another thing you have to deal with, and that was fun to just see how everybody came to grips with it. So yeah, perhaps I think that might be on for season 2.
All right. Well, that was a fantastic drive. You were also doing great on the heat race, but at some point you just entering turn 1 or exiting turn 1, you went to stopped for a second. What happened there?
Oh yeah, I hit a button that turned off my car, and I was trying my best to just turn it back on, and by the time I got going, it was too late. And honestly, I probably would have, the fuel thing caught me off guard, so I'm not sure I might have had a good finish either way, but that's what happened.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations again. What are your thoughts going to Interlagos next week for the final round?
Yeah, happy to come back to a track that's familiar. We will probably look at a custom set again this time around. A lot of the guys felt that it was better, more stable, they could push more. So yeah, I just looking forward to the final round.
Gotcha. Well, that's this set felt a little bit more stable, like you said, and we saw some great racing throughout the day. So congratulations again. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, like to give a shout out to Team Watson Racing, James Watson, Chris Hill, my teammate. He really pushed me to be better, and in a car that I'm kind of used to, he just gave me a lot of advice on just how to find a little bit more speed. Hopefully I can transfer that to other things I'm doing. But yeah, great shout out to Dan Miglin, who's another teammate of mine as well. You guys, of course, the broadcast, love Race First. You guys do a great job. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, thank you so much. You're too kind.
Yeah.
And we'll see you then in Interlagos. And congratulations again, man.
All right, thanks very much. Thanks.
Congrats.
All right, have a good one.
All right. Wow. I'll let you kind of lead off here with your final thoughts.
Yeah, man. Well, I think we saw a fantastic race. I mean, Watkins Glen is one of my favorite road courses ever, and I think it leads itself to a lot of action. I don't think I've ever seen a Watkins Glen race that is dull or boring, because because this track is so fast, and there aren't very many corners, and they're not super technical, you can easily get up to speed and drive with everyone else. So I think the grid did a great job. We only saw one big incident that took out a couple of cars. But even with a reduced field, and in the end, we had great racing throughout, and last lap pass for the win. So yeah, mission accomplished. Bring more Watkins Glen.
Well, like everyone, once again, give thumbs up here to the broadcast. That's the best medicine you can give me as my voice recovers from illness. And again, like and subscribe and click the bell for weekly reminders. And don't forget to add us all on Twitter. There's my Twitter handle. We have Antonio's there, as well as Race Versus as well. Next week, we will move on to Championship Thursday, where we will go to Interlagos to formally crown a champion, although we think Fagundo might have clinched it here. But we will know one way or another here in a little bit when points are tallied up. But one way or another, we will have a champion formally crowned next week. So that's really going to do it here. I'm not going to do the whole readout like I normally like to do. But I would like to let everyone know that thanks for joining. And so for Antonio and everyone at Race First, I'm Gary saying all good night and thanks for watching. And to all the men and women serving in the military and the first responders, Godspeed. God bless and come on safe. You can catch us again next week in Interlagos for Championship Thursday for the next race of Stock Car Do Brasil. Good night, everybody.